Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi, and with me is Saira Mujtaba with the evening news. The headlines. BJP announces West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as NDA's vice presidential candidate. Lok Sabha Speaker holds all-party meeting ahead of monsoon session of Parliament from Monday. Political parties assure full cooperation in smooth conduct of the House. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils Bundelkhand Expressway in Jalon district of Uttar Pradesh, says it will give major boost to connectivity and industrial development in the region. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma announces relief packages for flood-affected people. Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar strikes gold at ISSF Shooting World Cup in Changwon. India top medal tally with 4 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze so far. In badminton, PV Sindhu to face Wang Zhiyi of China in women's singles title clash of Singapore Open tomorrow. And in cricket, India to take on hosts England in third and final ODI in Manchester tomorrow. The BJP today announced West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as BJP and NDA's vice presidential candidate. The decision was taken during the BJP Parliamentary Board meeting in New Delhi today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, Party President JP Nadda and other senior leaders attended the meet. Making the announcement at the media briefing this evening, BJP President JP Nadda said Mr. Dhankar was born in a very humble family in an agrarian household in a remote village in Rajasthan's Jhunjhunu district. He said Mr. Dhankar worked tirelessly to become a successful professional before entering public life.
सभी नामों पर बड़ा गौर किया गया, लेकिन सभी नामों पर गौर करने के बाद हम सब लोग और भारतीय जनता पार्टी की संसदीय बोर्ड इस निष्कर्ष पर पहुंची है कि उपराष्ट्रपति पद के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी और एनडीए के प्रत्याशी के रूप में हमारे किसान पुत्र श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी को हम उपराष्ट्रपति पद के लिए अपना प्रत्याशी के रूप में घोषित करते हैं.
Jagdeep Dhankar entered public life after getting elected as the Member of Parliament from Jhunjhunu in the 1989 Lok Sabha elections. He also served as a Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs in 1990. In 1993, he was elected to the Rajasthan Assembly from the Kishangarh constituency in Ajmer district. In July 2019, he was appointed as the Governor of West Bengal, where he made a mark as the People's Governor, highlighting issues of public welfare. Jagdeep Dhankar completed his school education from Sainik School, Chittorgarh. After finishing his graduation in physics, he pursued LLB from the University of Rajasthan. Despite being a first-generation professional, he became one of the leading lawyers in Rajasthan. Mr. Dhankar has practiced in both the Rajasthan High Court and the Supreme Court of India. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today said NDA vice presidential candidate Jagdeep Dhankar is known for his humility. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said he brings an illustrious legal, legislative and gubernatorial career with him. He said Mr. Dhankar has always worked for the well-being of farmers, youth, women and the marginalized. He expressed happiness that such a person will be BJP and NDA's vice presidential candidate.
Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla today chaired an all-party meeting with the 4 leaders of various parties in the lower house ahead of the monsoon session of Parliament beginning on Monday. During the meeting held at Parliament House Complex in New Delhi, the leaders of the political parties assured the Lok Sabha Speaker of their full cooperation to ensure smooth conduct of the House during the session. Talking to media after the meeting, Mr. Birla said he has appealed to the Lok Sabha members to take part in a healthy discussion on the issues concerning national and public interest.
इस सत्र में जो 75 साल की हमारी यात्रा है, जिस यात्रा में लोकतंत्र सशक्त हुआ, मजबूत हुआ है, हमारी कोशिश होनी चाहिए कि इन लोकतांत्रिक संस्थाओं के प्रति जनता का विश्वास, भरोसा और बढ़े. इसलिए सदन के अंदर सार्थक चर्चा हो, सकारात्मक चर्चा हो, देश हित में चर्चा हो, ताकि समाज के अंतिम व्यक्तियों की बात भी सदन में आ सके और सरकार उसी तरीके से सकारात्मक रूप से उस अंतिम व्यक्ति का कल्याण इस अमृत महोत्सव में करे, ऐसे मैंने अपेक्षा की है. मुझे सभी दलों ने आश्वस्त किया है कि सदन की कार्रवाई बिना व्यवधान के चलेगी.
The Lok Sabha Speaker informed that like the previous sessions, proper COVID-19 protocols would be followed in this session as well and adequate arrangements have been made in this regard. Parliamentary Affairs Minister Prahlad Joshi, Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs Arjun Ram Meghwal, Union Minister and Apna Dal S leader Anupriya Patel, Union Minister and LJSP leader Pashupati Kumar Paras, Congress leader Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, DMK leader T.R. Balu, Mithun Reddy of YSRCP and BJP MP Rama Devi were among those who participated in the meeting. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu has also called a meeting of floor leaders of different parties in the upper house tomorrow. An all-party meeting has also been convened by the government on the same day to seek cooperation from all political parties. The monsoon session of Parliament, which begins from the 18th of this month, will continue till the 12th of August. There will be 18 sittings during the session. It is an important session given the fact that the presidential election and the vice presidential election will be held during this period. The presidential election will be held on Monday, while the vice presidential election will be held on the 6th of next month. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the Bundelkhand Expressway at Katherine village in Orita Tehsil of Jalon district in Uttar Pradesh today. Speaking on the occasion, Mr. Modi said, the Bundelkhand Expressway will give major boost to connectivity and industrial development in the region.
इस एक्सप्रेस हाईवे के दोनों तरफ अनेक उद्योग स्थापित होने वाले हैं। यहाँ भंडारण की सुविधाएं, कोल्ड स्टोरेज की सुविधाएं बनने वाली है। बुंदेलखंड एक्सप्रेसवे की वजह से इस क्षेत्र में कृषि आधारित उद्योग लगाने बहुत आसान हो जाएंगे। खेत में पैदा होने वाली उपज को नए बाजारों में पहुंचाना आसान होगा। बुंदेलखंड में बन रहे डिफेंस कॉरिडोर को भी इससे बहुत मदद मिलेगी। ये एक्सप्रेसवे बुंदेलखंड के कोने कोने को विकास, स्वरोजगार और नए अवसरों भी जोड़ने वाला है।
The Prime Minister said after 2017, connectivity reached small cities in Uttar Pradesh. He said now every part and region of the state is getting connected by road and by air as well, which reflects the spirit of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas in real terms.
उत्तर प्रदेश हर कोना नए सपनों को लेकर के, नए संकल्पों को लेकर के अब तेज गति से दौड़ने के लिए तैयार हो चुका है। और यही तो सबका साथ है, सबका विकास है। न कोई पीछे छूटे, सब मिलकर आगे बढ़े। इसी दिशा में डबल इंजन की सरकार लगातार काम कर रही है। यूपी के छोटे छोटे जिले हवाई सेवा से जुड़े, इसके लिए भी तेजी से काम किया जा रहा है।
Mr. Modi said the identity of Uttar Pradesh is changing as the state is developing in every field. Speaking about the balanced development, Mr. Modi said now development is reaching every part of the state, ending the imbalance of growth and leading to realization of social justice.
यूपी के जिन जिलों को पिछड़ा मानकर उन्हें अपने हाल पर छोड़ दिया गया था, वहां जब विकास हो रहा है तो ये भी एक तरह का सामाजिक न्याय है। गांव गांव को सड़कों से जोड़ने के लिए तेजी से काम करना, घर घर तक रसोई गैस का कनेक्शन पहुंचाना, गरीब को पक्के घर की सुविधा देना, घर घर में शौचालय बनाना, ये सारे काम भी सामाजिक न्याय को ही मजबूत करने वाले कदम है।
Talking about the water problems of the region, Mr. Modi said, many irrigation projects along with Har Ghar Jal scheme will end several problems of Bundelkhand.
मेरा बुंदेलखंड के साथियों से एक और आग्रह भी है। आजादी के 75 वर्ष के अवसर पर देश के अमृत सरोवरों के निर्माण का संकल्प लिया। बुंदेलखंड के हर जिले में भी 75 अमृत सरोवर बनाए जाएंगे। ये जल सुरक्षा के लिए, आने वाली पीढ़ियों के लिए बहुत बड़ा काम हो रहा है। मैं आज आप सभी से कहूंगा कि इस नेक काम में मदद के लिए ज्यादा से ज्यादा संख्या में आगे आए। अमृत सरोवर के लिए गांव गांव कार सेवा का अभियान चलना चाहिए।
The Prime Minister asserted by delivering the projects before time, they are respecting people's mandate and their confidence in them. He urged the people to celebrate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and remember the heroes of our freedom struggle in the coming months. The 296-kilometer long 4-lane Bundelkhand Expressway, which has been constructed at a cost of around 14,850 crore rupees, passes through 7 districts: Chitrakoot, Banda, Mahoba, Hamirpur, Jalon, Orita and Etawah.
Union Home Affairs and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah today said agriculture and rural development banks have transformed agriculture. He was addressing the National Conference of Agriculture and Rural Development Banks, ARDBs, in New Delhi. He said that unless there is a unified database on the cooperative sector, expansion of this sector is not possible. He said the Ministry of Cooperation is working towards making Primary Agricultural Credit Society, PACS, multidimensional. He added that in this regard, the ministry has shared model bylaws with the states for discussion. He highlighted that new activities in PACS are being added by changing 70 to 80-year-old laws.
सहकारिता विभाग ने ढेर सारे कदम उठाए हैं। अभी एक बहुत बड़ा कदम उठाया है कि सभी पैक्स को 2500 करोड़ की लागत से कंप्यूटराइज किया जाएगा। पैक्स, डिस्ट्रिक्ट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक, स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक और नाबार्ड सभी अकाउंटिंग की दृष्टि से ऑनलाइन हो जाएंगे और इससे पारदर्शिता के साथ पैक्स को चलाने में बहुत बड़ा फायदा होगा।
You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. BJP announces West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as NDA's vice presidential candidate. Lok Sabha Speaker holds all-party meeting ahead of monsoon session of Parliament from Monday. Political parties assure full cooperation in smooth conduct of the House. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils Bundelkhand Expressway in Jalon district of Uttar Pradesh, says it will give major boost to connectivity and industrial development in the region. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma announces relief packages for flood-affected people. Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar strikes gold at ISSF Shooting World Cup in Changwon. India top medal tally with 4 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze so far. In badminton, PV Sindhu to face Wang Ziyi of China in women's singles title clash of Singapore Open tomorrow. And in cricket, India to take on host England in the third and final ODI in Manchester tomorrow. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 8700014242 पर।
8700014242।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the evening news. Health Minister Dr. Monsoon has said that under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India is all set to achieve the 200 crore COVID-19 vaccination mark. In a tweet, Dr. Mandviya said the countdown has started to achieve the 200 crore vaccination mark. India's COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed 199 crore 96 lakh mark. More than 23 lakh 60,000 vaccine doses were administered today till 7 p.m. The journey of administering Made in India, Covaxin and Covishield vaccines to the citizens of India began on 16th January last year. Meanwhile, over 20,000 new cases of COVID were recorded in the last 24 hours. Over 18,000 people recovered in the same period. The recovery rate is currently at 98.48%. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur has outlined the 5 key features that need to define government communication. The minister was addressing the opening ceremony of the 3rd Annual Indian Information Service IIS Officers Conference at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi today. Mr. Thakur gave the mantra of effective communication in the form of 5 C's. These are citizen-centric and compassionate, co-creation with target audience, collaboration, contemplation and continuous capacity enhancements. He said that these would be very important for future communication campaign. Speaking on the occasion, Information and Broadcasting Secretary Apurva Chandra said during the COVID-19 pandemic, communication strategy was successful in instilling belief in the government. The IIS conference is a platform for government communicators to discuss, deliberate and decide a way forward to improve effective communication in the future. Principal Director General of Press Information Bureau, Jaideep Bhatnagar, Principal Director General News of All India Radio, N. Venudhar Reddy, Principal Director General of Central Bureau of Communication, Satyendra Prakash, Chief Executive Officer of Prasar Bharati and Director General Doordarshan, Mayank Agarwal, senior IIS officers and other officials from various media wings of the ministry were present on the occasion.
The Centre has amended the legal metrology packaged commodities rules for ease of doing business and reducing the compliance burden for the electronic industries. The amendment will allow the industry to declare the information in the digital form through the QR code. The Department of Consumer Affairs has allowed the electronic products to declare certain mandatory declarations through the QR code for a period of 1 year, if not declared in the package itself. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma today said that the state government is moving towards a peaceful solution with its neighbouring states on border issue to create unity in the northeastern region and termed the Nansai Declaration as a historic one. Addressing the media persons, Chief Minister Sarma informed that he signed the Nansai Declaration with his Arunachal Pradesh counterpart Pema Khandu yesterday to end the decades-old border dispute between the two states at Nansai in Arunachal Pradesh. He added that the two leaders agreed to restrict the number of contested villages to 86 instead of 123, and based on the present boundary, both the states will try to resolve the rest of the issues by the 15th of September this year.
Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma today announced relief packages for the flood-affected people of the state. The state government would pay 3,800 rupees to each family staying in relief camps and other self-arranged shelters. Mr. Sarma provided 1,000 rupees each to students whose study materials were damaged by flood waters through direct bank transfer. He informed that a total of 1,01,539 students received the amount under the Chief Minister's Special Book Grant, apart from the additional free textbooks from the Education Department. He said this expenditure is made from the donations received by the Chief Minister, from the public as well as from the corporate sector under the Chief Minister's Relief Fund. Mr. Sarma informed that 195 people had lost their life and 35 are still missing in the two waves of flood this year. Over 89 lakh people are affected in the 34 districts of the state.
As many as 17 teams of National and State Disaster Response Force have been deployed in flood-prone districts of Maharashtra as an emergency response plan amid the flood situation. According to the information received from the State Disaster Control Room, 73 temporary shelter centers have been created in the state, and so far 11,836 citizens have been shifted to safer places. Due to frequent incidents of landslides, heavy vehicle traffic operations on Parshuram Ghat on the Mumbai-Goa highway have been restricted till 30th of July for safety reasons. Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana has expressed concern over the pending cases in different courts of the country. He emphasized on strengthening the infrastructure of the courts and filling up the vacant post of judges. Mr. Ramana was speaking after inaugurating the 18th All India Legal Services Authority meet in Jaipur today. Justice Ramana said that the National Lok Adalats have played an important role in the disposal of litigations in the country. Addressing the gathering, Union Minister of Law and Justice Kiren Rijiju said that with the coordination between the judiciary and the governments, avenues can be explored to provide speedy justice to the people.
The Sri Lankan Parliament met for a brief session today to announce a vacancy in the presidency following the resignation of Gotabaya Rajapaksa. According to local media reports, the session lasted for 13 minutes and Secretary General of Parliament Dhammika Dasanaike announced a vacancy for the post of President. Ousted President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's resignation letter was also read out at a special session of Parliament. In his letter, Mr. Rajapaksa said he took all possible steps to avert the Sri Lankan crisis. Meanwhile, Energy Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said Sri Lanka has received the first of 3 fuel shipments today. These are the first shipments to reach the country in about 3 weeks. Later in the day, India's High Commissioner Gopal Bagle called on Sri Lanka's Parliament Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena and assured him that India will continue to support democracy, stability and economic recovery in the country. Yesterday, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed as the interim president. And now let us listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of this struggle every day.
The Hindu Widow Remarriage Act, passed on the 16th of July 1856, legalized the remarriage of widows in all jurisdictions of India under British rule. Drafted by Lord Dalhousie and passed by Lord Canning, it was the first major social reform legislation after the abolition of sati in 1829 by Lord William Bentinck.
Polygyny and child marriage were common practices in Bengal in the early decades of the 19th century. Girls were typically married off at a very early age and often to much older men. Consequently, young widows came to constitute a large proportion of the population. These widows were typically condemned to a life of harsh austerity. A number of social reformers tried to address these issues.
The Widow Remarriage Association, which was created in 1856, was started by Vishnu Shastri Pandit. Karsondas Mulji, a prominent figure in this field, started the Satya Prakash in Gujarati in 1852 to promote the remarriage of widows. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was one of the most prominent campaigners, and he petitioned the Legislative Council. On the 4th of October 1855, Vidyasagar sent a petition signed by 987 individuals to the government and subsequently organized an extensive campaign. Vidyasagar used Vedic literature to demonstrate that the Hindu faith permitted widow remarriage.
The Act validated and regulated Hindu widow marriages. It recognized a remarried widow's rights and inheritance as if she had married for the first time. The Act also legally protected males who married a widow. The first marriage took place in North Calcutta on the 7th of December 1856 when the Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed. The groom was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's close friend's son.
We also remember freedom fighter Uma Dutt, who was martyred on the 16th of July 1939. A resident of district Shimla, Himachal Pradesh, Uma Dutt took part in agitation against the ruler of the Dhami state, demanding the establishment of a responsible government and the removal of hardship of the state's people. On the 16th of July 1939, when the people were demonstrating with the national flag, suddenly the state police snatched it away and set it ablaze. This act caused a mass fury and resulted in the police firing on unarmed agitators. Uma Dutt was killed in the firing on the 16th of July 1939. All India Radio News salutes the great daughter of the nation.
We also remember independence activist Seetal Singh, who took part in the First War of Independence in 1857. Singh was serving the English East India Company Army in Sindh now in Pakistan, but left it during the uprising and participated in attacking and ransacking British establishments. He also offered financial help to his fellow activists and encouraged them to go all out to overthrow the oppressive foreign rule.
Seethal Singh was captured in the course of a confrontation with the company army in the Sindh area and charged with desertion and mutiny against the British authorities. He was sentenced to transportation for life on the 18th of June 1857 and sent from Bombay to the Andaman Islands in April 1858, where he died in detention on the 16th of July 1858. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
And that brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
As part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The next question of Amrit Mahotsav quiz will be shared with the listeners on Monday, 18th July.
On to sports now. Junior World Champion Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar has won gold medal in the men's 50 meters rifle 3 precision 3P event at the ongoing International Shooting Sport Federation ISSF World Cup in Changpan in South Korea. He defeated Hungarian Zakon Pekla 16-12 in the gold medal match on day 7 of the ongoing tournament. This was the youngster's second ISSF World Cup gold and India's fourth of the competition, helping them hold on to the top spot in the standings. India currently lead the medal tally with 4 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze medal so far. In badminton, ace Indian shuttler PV Sindhu will face Wang Ziyi of China in women's singles title clash of Singapore Open tournament tomorrow. The two-time Olympic medalist stormed into the final after defeating Japanese world number 38 Saina Kawakami 21-15, 21-7 in the semi-finals today. This is the third time this year that Sindhu has moved into the final of a tournament. In cricket, India will take on host England in the third and final One-Day International at Old Trafford in Manchester tomorrow evening. The match will begin at 5:30 p.m. Indian time. The series is in the balance at 1-1 and the decider at Old Trafford promises to be a thriller.
Southwest Europe continues to reel under sweltering temperatures, with the heat sparking devastating wildfires, forcing evacuations of thousands and ruining holidays. Armies of firefighters battled blazes in France, Portugal and Spain as Britain braced for extreme heat in coming days, and even Irish forecasters have predicted a taste of blistering Mediterranean-style summer temperatures. As French President Emmanuel Macron vowed authorities would do everything to mobilize resources to fight the fallout, the Bordeaux public prosecutor indicated a criminal origin was its main line of inquiry for at least one fire near the southwestern city. Scientists blame the increasing regularity of heat waves on global warming. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. National capital Delhi is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Mumbai and Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. Jammu and Muzaffarabad will experience partly cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Leh will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm, while Gilgit is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. In South, Hyderabad and Bangalore will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. In the northeast, Guwahati, Imphal, Aizawl, Shillong, Itanagar, Kohima, Gangtok and Agartala will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. BJP announces West Bengal Governor Jagdeep Dhankar as NDA's vice presidential candidate. Lok Sabha Speaker holds all-party meeting ahead of monsoon session of Parliament from Monday. Political parties assure full cooperation and smooth conduct of the House. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveils Bundelkhand Expressway in Jalon district of Uttar Pradesh, says it will give major boost to connectivity and industrial development in the region. Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma announces relief packages for flood-affected people. Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar strikes gold at ISSF Shooting World Cup in Changwon. India top medal tally with 4 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze so far. In badminton, PV Sindhu to face Wang Ziyi of China in women's singles title clash of Singapore Open tomorrow. And in cricket, India to take on host England in third and final ODI in Manchester tomorrow. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.